Hello everybody, welcome back once again to World of Tanks with your host Michion. To make a little special for you today, if you remember my previous video has been about whether or not you should be modding World of Tanks with the various different mods that exist for World of Tanks. And there is one thing that I've neglected to mention, and I've noticed it from playing without mods for quite a long time now, and that's to do with what. Well, it essentially has to do with WN8 and raiding. Okay, if you have a mod enabled, XVM namely, you will see the rating of the enemy players on the team list, and if you have the right mods, you will be able to see their names hovering at their rating hovering over their names. That you don't get in the vanilla version of World of Tanks. Now, what does that provide you with? Well, simply knowing about oh shit. I have. This was my mistake for positioning myself in such a place. Is that one batchet? That is one batchet. Yes. Okay. Sorry, it's a bit hard to concentrate. I'm getting raped. Oh shit. Wow, this video has not gotten off to a good start. Anyway, yes. So if you can't, well, I'm not going to focus on that. I'm going to focus on what can you learn and what can you do if you know someone is bad or good. Well, bad players, it's pretty obvious. You can just beat them up very easily because they don't know what they're doing. I'm talking about red or orange players here. Yellow players can be different because when you're yellow, it means you're usually getting better at the game. So what can you learn from the rating of the enemy player? Well, for starters, if he's a blue player or a green player or, God forbid, a purple player, you can assume that most tactics that you use aren't going to work on him. If you're going to try and surprise him from a flank, expect him to be able to, react almost instantly to you flanking him. Which doesn't happen with yellow or most green players. They usually react quickly but not instantly like a purple player would. Beyond that, know that since pretty much the only way to get purple stats, not the only way of course, if you're good enough and lucky enough, you might be able to get purple, but usually purple players platoon very regularly. That's the only reliable way to get very good stats in World of Tanks and get very good win rates. Oh shit! That Gorilla 15 is still there, isn't he? Well, lucky my tracks ate it. I don't think I'm gonna get away though. Oh, I might get away. Anyway, so. What do you do when there's a purple player on the enemy team? Well, for starters, assume if there's not an overwhelming force where he's at, assume that they're gonna die. It's sad, but it's true. Purple players tend to kick ass. It's just, being purple doesn't give them any bonuses, doesn't give them any aim hacks or whatever, but if there's a purple player and he's fighting against a yellow player, assume the yellow player is going to lose just because the purple player is better, as well as usually they drive the best tanks that they can get their hands on. You won't see a purple player driving tanks that are mediocre or bad unless he's doing some kind of grind. When they are with you, try to support your purple player. Purple players have a very, very high damage capacity. Oh shit. Whoa. Very high damage capacity. Usually purple players will finish a game with over over 3,000 damage done. If you can support that purple player, you'll enable him to do that damage, and you'll enable him to do even more. Nope, that's not gonna hit. So it's always a good idea to support your purple players, unless you're doing something silly. But most purple players don't do that. That's why you should only help and support purple or deep blue, sometimes blue players as well, because these are the players that really know what they're doing, and if they're doing that, you can usually depend on it to be a good thing. So if you follow them, you'll also usually get a good result as well. So it's good for you as well, not just for winning the game. Beyond that, you need to pay attention to the win rate of the player. If the player the player is purple, but his win rate is green, you can assume that player farms damage instead of wins. Now, how do you farm damage? Well, you sit back and you let everyone else go in front of you and just farm damage because they're spawning for you. That kind of player you should not be following. It's very easy to tell the difference. A very good player with a good win rate will also be very in the front. He won't be camping the entire game. There are very few maps that you should be camping right off the bat in and still win. Okay? So if you see the player instantly taking the best camping position and sitting there and just farming damage, ignore him, move on. He's not gonna help you, and you shouldn't be trying to help him just because he's purple. Okay? If the player actually moves up and you see he has very good WN8 as well as very good win rate, you should be following him and you should be supporting him, because you'll get a good result. You'll enable him to get a good result, and in the end you'll win, because you both got good results, and everyone who supported him got good results. If a purple player thinks pushing is what needs to happen, usually he's right. Not always, usually he is right. That's about players on your team. Now, when you see an enemy purple player on the enemy team, since most of us aren't purple, and most of us are average, 1,500, 2,000 damage per game, which is, okay. As long as you're carrying your weight, you're doing okay, alright? Since most of us are just okay, if you see a chance to go one-on-one against a purple player, you should take it, because the thing about purple players that some people don't understand, they're driving the same tanks, okay? Their tanks don't get enhanced stats or whatever. They're driving the same tanks as you, and you can beat them one-on-one. They don't possess magic skills, okay? All they have, essentially, is very good situational awareness, very good decision making, and very good understanding of the mechanics of the game. If you can go one-on-one versus a purple player, and you are at least average and at least understand more or less what you're doing, and you don't not just sit sideways onto him or something like that, you have a good chance. Maybe not 50-50, but I'd say 65, 35, something like that, chance of actually killing him. Now, you might think, well, why would I want to take that chance? Well, he is a purple player. His damage capability is higher than yours. There's no denying it. There's no need to be ashamed of it. That's just how it is. You'll get better as well, and eventually you'll be that purple player that people just throw themselves at to kill you. Okay? Just if you want to have an example, just look at Quickie Baby or Jingles. They get rushed every time, and it doesn't just have to do with the fact that they're YouTubers. Oh, shit. It also has to do with the fact that they are, well, not Jingles. No offense, Jingles. But Quickie Baby, definitely, he's a very, very good player, and people do focus on purple players because they know how important it is to kill them. That T29 is going to be a pain in the ass, but I am in a better position than him, and he is using the 90 mil, so I am going to win this. For example, this is not a one-on-one, okay? This is just me humiliating him. He has no chance. I'm not giving him any chance. He should have given up on me from the get-go. So, I have no idea how good this guy is. He's not a purple player, though. You can tell he's not a purple player because he got himself in this situation. No purple player worth his salt will put himself in such a dangerous, unadvantageous position, because he'll just die, and when you're dead, you don't get WN8 points, do you? Neither is this Panzer 4S, who is gonna get... Oh, there's a KV tree there, look at that. Who would have guessed? Well, yes. Purple players will put themselves always in the best possible position. Did I get... He did. He just tracked me. God. He's also not a purple player. There we go. Yes. So, remember, if you find yourself in a position where you are gonna be able to damage and kill a purple player, take it. You have a good chance of winning. If you see a purple player leading the charge or doing whatever that people are following him, if you take down the purple player first, or at least put a few good shots into him, there's a good chance he'll stop and reconsider, okay? And if he stops, since people do have a tendency of following the purple players, the unicums, if he stops, there's a very good possibility that the rest of the team following him will also stop. I have done that to people, to unicums, and the result was that the purple player either died or was left very wounded. If you can track him, all the better. And the rest of the team that was following him just, completely froze up, stuck in the open. We just took them apart one by one. So you can use the fact that there's a purple player to your advantage, because you can assume that people will try to follow him, and that people will get very scared if he's dead or injured or going to die. Other than that, I think I covered pretty much everything. Oh yes, about bad players. Well, let's just say he wouldn't be deep red or even orange if he would have some kind of situational awareness and some knowledge of weak spots. So if you can just outflank him or surprise him, or put your strongest armor in front of him, you can pretty much be pretty confident that he's not going to be able to kill you. These videos that I'm making are not made for bad players, okay? I have a series, How to What. If you want to learn about the mechanics of the game, you're welcome to watch that if you're a bad player. But this is for more advanced players. Yellow, green, deep green, even blue can learn from this. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you like this, please remember to like and subscribe. I'll be tuning into the comments if you have anything to say or add or request. And I'll see you next time.